I remember when established meant something. You know, you see a sign that say established. This sign, the other day that I saw, this business said since 1982. And I thought, okay, I guess that's all right. Then I passed a sign at the airport and it said serving great food since 2013. 2013. Big whoopty doo. Y'all haven't been around that long. Established used to sound like the business had survived, like survived wars and depression and fires and 3 generations of owners and at least one guy who refused to retire. And now they're bragging about shit that happened during the Obama administration. Serving great food since 2013. 2013. Wow, you're not an institution. You're barely done with puberty. Man, I've got coffee mugs older than your restaurant. It used to be impressive. Serving this community since 1882. Whoa, okay, you've been here a while. If you've been serving lunch since people were tying their transportation to a post out in front, I'm going to trust your food. You probably got good potato salad. I saw a thing, serving Fredericksburg since 1882. Now, that's a statement. Somebody probably paid for lunch with like a gold coin or a beaver pelt. If a bakery says serving fresh bread since 1869, I'm buying that bread. I don't even want bread. But, if they've been baking that for 157 years, I'm pretty sure they figured out something. They're doing something right. And that's why established used to tell you that. We survived. We made it through. We did the depression. We've watched customers go up. We survived 2YK and COVID and probably a kitchen fire started by somebody named Lester in 1947. And you earned that sign. Or if you see family owned since 1906. Now, that means something too, doesn't it? That means 5 generations of the same family have been arguing over the thermostat and and refusing to change grandma's gravy recipe. That's pretty impressive. See, every generation has probably tried. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should make it a little healthier. No. Leave it alone. What if we use less butter? Get the hell out of the kitchen. Grandma has been dead since Eisenhower, and she's still running the place. That's pretty impressive. That's tradition. That's established. But established since 2018? Stop it. That's not history. That's a Facebook memory. Facebook will literally remind you of your grand opening. 8 years ago today. You're not historic if Zuckerberg remembers when you opened. Pretty soon we're going to see things like established 2024. What are you bragging about? You survived Tuesday. You've made it through 2 tax seasons and a plumbing problem. Whoop diddly doo. Congratulations. And at this rate, somebody's going to open a taco truck at lunch. And by dinner, there'll be a wooden sign hanging off the side. And it'll say, established 4:30 p.m. Proudly serving the community for nearly 3 hours. I think we need rules for this stuff. You shouldn't be allowed to use established until you're actually established. You know what I'm saying? Under 10 years, your sign should just say open. because that's all you've earned. You're open. In 10 years, you could say, still here. In 25 years, how about this? Serving the community since 2001. Okay, respectable. 50 years. Whoa, 50 years. Now you get to use the word established. In 100 years, now you get the gold lettering and a plaque on the wall. Something from the state even. And if you've been around 150 years, you shouldn't even need a sign. Some 93-year-old man is sitting at the counter. You just point at the wall and say, my granddaddy used to eat right here. That's all the advertising you'd need. Because old businesses, they had character. You'd walk into an old diner, been there since 1936 and serving everything. And it all looked alike because it's all been there since 1936. The counter was worn down from 80 years of elbows. And there was a waitress named Doris who called everybody honey. And nobody knew exactly how long Doris had been there. She'd worked there for as long as anybody could remember. You could ask the owner. Seriously, you could ask the owner, how long has Doris been here? Hell, I don't know. She was here when I bought the place. Doris didn't retire. Doris became, she was part of the building. Now that's established. There was always one customer too. Some guy named Earl who'd been coming in every morning since 1958. Same booth, same coffee, same eggs, same complaints. Eggs used to be better. Didn't they used to be bigger than this? Earl had been saying that since 1962. And nobody even knows what happened to those eggs in 1962. But Earl never recovered from it. And God help you if you sat in his booth. There was no reserve sign. But there wasn't any need to be. There didn't need to be a sign because you sat down and suddenly the whole restaurant just goes, Doris walks over. Honey, you might want to move. Why? That's Earl's booth. Where's Earl? He'll be here. That is an established business. And if you think there's a bigger, funny idea under all of this, well, we've lowered the minimum age for nostalgia. Everything becomes legendary, like almost immediately. Think about this. Restaurants are iconic after 6 years. What? Neighborhood bars. Historic because they opened before TikTok. Somebody puts an Edison bulb over a reclaimed wood and they hang an old bicycle on the wall and they serve drinks in mason jars and suddenly the website says, rooted in rich tradition. No, you're not. You're not. You opened in 2019. That wood came from Home Depot. That mason jar came from Walmart. And that antique bicycle has a QR code still hanging off of it. We've got to do better. Like we've got these breweries talking about their legacy when the owner still has the receipt for the building. Legacy. Using time-honored brewing methods since 2021. Time-honored. What time? Lunchtime? Buddy, this building used to be a T-Mobile store. I think I even bought a phone case over where your hostess station is. You don't have heritage. You have a decorator. Every new restaurant looks like Abraham Lincoln could walk in and order an avocado toast. Then they start calling themselves iconic. Iconic. You opened in 2020. Your oldest employee remembers the grand opening because he was there. Man, that's not iconic. McDonald's is iconic. The Empire State Building is iconic. Willie Nelson, that dude is iconic. But your gastropub with $12 French fries and a big wheel bicycle hanging on the wall? No, that's not iconic. And even legendary has gotten completely out of hand. Completely. Come try our legendary chicken sandwich. Legendary. Well, according to who? Or whom? Whom? Don't know. Which one? Is it you or your mom? Which one said that? 3 people on Yelp, did they say it? Legends used to be passed down through generations. King Arthur, Robin Hood, Bigfoot. Now apparently a chicken breast with spicy mayonnaise, well, that could become legendary before the health department has a chance to complete its second inspection. Give it some time, y'all. Let the sandwich build a resume. Let people find it. Let people talk about it. And don't even get me started on historic. I saw something described as historic. It was in the historic entertainment district, and half the building looked newer than my phone charger. Historic used to mean George Washington slept there. Now it means the place existed before DoorDash. People are nostalgic for things that used to happen 6 years ago. Remember 2019? Yeah, those are good times. Of course I remember 2019. Why are you saying it like we crossed the Oregon Trail together? I remember when nostalgia required at least one person in the story to be dead. Now somebody posts a picture of an iPhone 6. An iPhone 6. Who remembers these? Everybody? That wasn't the Civil War. And businesses, they figured this out. They know how we love nostalgia. And they're trying to manufacture history that we've actually lived. You know what I mean? You can't do that. History takes time. A real old restaurant doesn't have to tell you it's authentic. They don't have to tell you that. You can smell the authenticity. There's an old cash register that nobody even knows how to work anymore. There's a framed newspaper clipping from 1954. There's a photograph of the original owner standing out front wearing a white apron, and his entire family is standing there beside him. And there's a menu. There's a menu hanging on the wall where a steak dinner was only $1.25. Steak dinner, $1.25. That's when this country made sense. That's what I want from established. I want history. I want generations. I want stories. I want some mystery. I want a stain on the ceiling that's been there so long nobody even remember what caused it. What happened up there? I don't know. Water? Fire? When? 1928, I think. Why hadn't anybody ever painted over? We did. Now that's a restaurant. I want a booth where there's 3 generations of the same family. They've proposed in that restaurant. 3 generations have proposed. I want a bartender who remembers when beer was 50 cents. I want an owner who knows customers by their names and their grandparents. I want a recipe that's so old nobody knows the measurements properly anymore because Grandma wrote things like, I don't know, a little flour, use a little bit of salt, there's a pinch of this, and use just enough pepper so it doesn't get too spicy. Well, how much is enough, Grandma? Nobody knows. That's why you can't change the cook. He's the only person alive who knows Grandma's recipe and what she meant. That's tradition. And I think that's why those old signs used to make me feel something, you know? Established 1882. There's some weight behind that. It meant we were here long before you. People ate here before automobiles existed. Kids came here who eventually bought their own kids dinner here. And those kids brought their kids and bought them dinner here. The world changed outside those restaurant doors 100 times, but somebody kept unlocking these restaurant doors every morning for years. And that's worth bragging about. But established 2022? Come on. You don't have history yet. You have nothing. Your first Yelp review is still on the first page. Give yourself a little time. Come on. Survive a recession. Survive a fire. Survive a family argument that almost shuts this restaurant down. And then you'll have the right to put up established. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a little something out of this because it just seems weird to me. I don't know. Things just seem weird to me today. Doesn't it to you? A lot of stuff just doesn't seem right or feel right. And this was one of them. And I hope you understood what I was trying to say with this. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. Hit like. Give me a thumbs up, would you? And subscribe if you haven't. Because I've been doing this since 1956. Established in 1956. Later, guys.